Hey everyone, welcome to an emergency episode of the 199 podcast. I guess not emergency because it was planned this time. We just finished watching episode 2 of the live action. Oh, we got echo from someone of the live
That's fine.
action Last Airbender, and it was terrible, absolutely horrendous. We're gonna break it down beginning to end. First of all, I'd just like to introduce who's with us. Jess, what's up?
Hey, what's up? I'm gonna rage and be angry, so prepare yourselves.
Naganal, Sean.
How's it going?
Multi is in the process of transitioning. So what's going on, Mr. They Them?
Yeah, so I'm going from straight to super straight, but the thing is that Jeremy's kind of throwing me off. There's a little bit of something there. He shows that sexy back end a little bit too often, and I feel some kind of way. But it's great to have Jess here, and I really want to hear her input on all this stuff.
And my mom's here too. Yo pops, what's up?
What's up, man? How's everyone doing?
Pretty good, man.
So for some context, Jess and I are pretty avid enjoyers of the animation, so we're pretty like we watched it a ton. We're up to date on knowledge with it.
Yeah.
Nagnol
So
and
am
Multi,
I.
you guys watched it more casually? Or no, Sean,
No, I watched
you're
the
more.
shit out of that show.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Sean's up to date with it. He's watched it a ton. Multi, you watched it like a few years ago, I think.
When I was a kid, when it was first coming
Hmm.
out on Nickelodeon, that's when I just caught a few episodes, so I wasn't really into the lore. And then I watched the Shyamalan one, which I was like, "What in
Oh
the heck
no.
is this?" And then for this, I watched the first two episodes today, and
Hmm.
I have my feelings and opinions.
And Yo Pops has never seen the animation, so we've got a nice diversity of opinions and perspectives coming into this to get all of our thoughts for this. So, the intro to the episode, we pick up where we left off at the end of episode 1, where they're at the Southern Air Temple, which they just, fast travel to between edits at the end of episode 1. And Aang's like, we should go to Kyoshi. And they're like, yeah. So then they just go there. And like, that's it. Was there anything else? Did I miss something? Or did it just seem like it was like a 5 second scene?
Yeah, it was literally just, oh, let's go to Kyoshi Island. Oh, okay. And then they go.
Yeah, pretty
There,
much.
there was so much of it where complete set changes would happen, all in a jump cut. And I was like, "Wait, what's going on now? What's the timeline? Oh, it's the same timeline. They're just it completely cut it off." They did not do a very good job of editing, in my opinion, on that at all. I didn't know what
Exactly.
was going on.
Because then we just cut to Zuko and Iroh arriving at this port where General Zhao is. And, in the animation, they go there to repair the ship because the cliff had fallen on it, the ice cliff, from Aang airbending the fireball aside. But of course, in the live action, it was Qatar who just made water fly up 1,000 miles to extinguish the fire, so the ship was never damaged. But Iroh, so listen, this is bizarre. Iroh and Zuko are in this port walking, and Zuko says, "Why are we here?" And then Iroh explains that they're here because this is where the information would. This is like a command center, and this is where any information about the Avatar would go. So Zuko did not know why they were here. I guess they just sailed here without Zuko knowing why they were sailing here, which makes no sense because in the animation it was obviously Zuko giving the command to sail here because he's in command. Of course, he knows where they're sailing to. But in this, I guess they were just like, yeah, we just teleport here basically because no one knows why we're here. So it doesn't make any sense. Awful dialogue. And then we get to well when we so first off we cut back to Kyoshi then, and we cut out the whole scene from the animation of them flying on Appa's back, where Katara is knitting up Sokka's clothes, and Sokka's like, oh no, I don't have any pants because they're all ruined because Katara's awful at sewing because he's sexist and stuff. And then Aang's like, don't worry, Sokka, you won't need pants where we're going. And it's funny, it's comedic. They cut that out. They also cut out Aang riding the fish when they arrive at Kyoshi. So
And that
instead
was
of
the
any of
whole
that
point.
stuff,
That was
that
the
was
whole
the whole
point
point
of
of them going.
wanting, yeah, because Aang was like, I want to ride the elephant koi, let's go. And they're like, okay. And so they go. But you also left out how they found Momo in this.
Oh shoot, my bad. You want to explain that because it's something.
So
Let
in
Jess
the
cook.
original animated series, they're at Southern Air Temple and they go in the room with all the statues of all the different avatars, and they're sitting there looking, and then all of a sudden they see the shadow of Big Ears, and they're like, "Oh my God, it's a monster!" And then here comes Momo, and he disappears, and they're like, "Oh, look, it's..." And then Aang actually is supposed to follow Momo around, and then that's how he finds Gyatso, his body, what's left of it, and obviously that triggers everything. But yeah, and then suddenly Momo in the live action, Momo's in Katara's bag. He just is in there, and then all of a sudden magically she has the waterbending scroll that she was supposed to have taken from pirates in a later episode. So I guess they're not going to meet the pirates.
We're cutting out plot lines left and right because next we
Yeah.
just hard cut straight to them standing in front of this statue of Kyoshi, and then the Kyoshi warriors just appear out of nowhere, and it's just like, okay, this is happening now, and then they're captured, and just like, okay, we're just moving way too fast, and then we cut out the entire scene of. So first off, the mayor in the animated series, there's Kyoshi warriors, and there's like this old dude who's like the mayor of the town. He's been gender swapped, and so now there's this old
Suki
lady,
suddenly has a mother. Suki
and
suddenly
she's,
has
I
a
guess,
mom. So.
Suki's mother, and she's got super strength, by the way, I guess, apparently, from what we'll see later. But we cut out the foaming mouth dude. The dude with, we see the crowd, and we see the dude in his mouth just foaming out of him because he's creaming himself over seeing the avatar. And we just cut it right out.
And they cut out Aang's little group of fangirls.
And they cut out his harem.
Yeah.
It's like, what are we doing?
Oh my God, not his hair. It was his fangirls. Come on.
Oh shoot, down upwards. So I guess there's a hardcore orgy in the middle of episode 3. I guess it's unexpected and uncalled for.
And now Caitlin wants to watch it.
I might have to watch episode 3 now.
Oh.
I'm assuming it's all lesbians though, based off what I've heard about episode 3.
We're getting to that next week. Don't
We're
worry.
getting to that. Oh yeah, speaking of lesbians, there's some definitely hardcore lesbian vibes between the mom and Suki, because like she's looking, she's in
What
one
the
scene, she's
fuck?
looking at Sokka, and she's like, it's too bad everything we have to sacrifice for our way of life, as she's looking at Sokka and like super horny for him, and then the mom's like, it looks between her and Sokka, so there's some undertones there.
There
But
aren't,
back to-
because she doesn't want her to be attracted to the man. She's like,
Mhm.
what are you doing there? It was like, no, you
what's
should be,
going on here?
come on, abide by the system we got.
And
Yeah,
so then we cut back to Zhao and, sorry, not Zhao, we cut back to Zuko and Iroh, but now Zhao's here, and instead of the conflict with Zhao, instead of the Agni Kai, instead of Jason Isaacs, allow me to present some evidence here. This is who voiced Zhao, Jason Isaacs, and this is who should have been cast to play him in the live action. Okay, this is Zhao in the animation, and this is his voice actor, Jason Isaacs. So it seems so simple to cast Jason Isaacs. Just give him some sideburns, and that's General Zhao right there. Easy peasy, right? Seems simple enough. No, this
Yep.
is the guy who they cast. And they cut out all of his personality. They cut out his disdain for Zuko. They cut out his fight with him, his conflict with him, and he's just this dude. That's Zhao. Lame as hell.
Yeah, Zhao is supposed to be ruthless, and he does not care what anybody says to him. He just does what he wants to do. And in this, he's like, oh, it's like he's almost like, oh, I'm sorry. Did I hurt your? Oh, okay. No, he just went and did what he wanted to do. He didn't care. And
Yeah, and he calls Zuko Your Highness. He's like, oh, I'm so sorry, Your Highness. I didn't realize what I was doing. Well, no, Zhao thinks Zuko's dirt.
And after they were supposed to have the Agni Kai in the second or third episode. This was in the animated series, and it was the Southern Air Temple one. And Zuko and him were supposed to have the Agni Kai, and then afterward, Zhao calls Zuko a failure. Oh, he's not calling him a failure in this.
No, he's licking his boots
for him, practically.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's not Zhao.
No.
It's not.
And then we cut now back to Kyoshi, And the lesbian mayor gender bent lady's like, we don't want you guys to stay here because you're gonna attract trouble. But we're gonna let you stay here anyway. It's basically what she says. Does she not just contradict herself like that?
She's like, I will let you stay, what, 48 hours?
48, you shall say the 48 hours so that my daughter can have the sex with the Saka. But even though I don't want her to because we are lesbians here. Um, and then we get the
Oh,
weirdest. So they cut out all the good stuff between Sokka and Suki, okay? And they cut
they
out all the good stuff
did.
between Aang and Katara and Aang's harem. They cut it all out, okay? Instead, we get Aang and Katara having this conversation about waterbending, and they take this from the episode like halfway through season 1, the Zhang episode where Aang is learning about firebending and then he accidentally firebends into Katara and burns her, and then he's like, I never want to firebend again. I'm afraid of hurting people. Instead of having that theme later on, now they just have Aang's afraid to waterbend or airbend or be the Avatar in general because he's afraid of hurting people. Because we get this flashback to something that never happened in the animation. This flashback to him airbending and knocking all these Airbender kids off this cliff, which is just like, where does this even come from? And now he's like scared to be the Avatar, so he has to
But
do
then, but,
self-reflection.
but then he contradicts himself and is like, oh, I need to save the world. And it's like,
In the very
no,
next
he's
scene.
supposed to be very reluctant to
That's
want to be
why
the
we get
Avatar.
an episode later in like I think season 2 where he's like losing his mind over the sudden realization that the time has come for him to save the world when they're on the island getting ready for the invasion, and like they tried
Yeah.
the acupuncture on him and stuff, and the pillows with the sheep, and because
Oh, when he
he suddenly
when he
realizes
wasn't
then.
sleeping. He wasn't
Yeah,
sleeping.
exactly. But
Yeah,
instead
that's
of
right. I
that, we're getting
remember.
this now suddenly, which doesn't make
Yeah,
any
what the
sense.
heck?
So
They're
he does
just
this self-reflection, and instead of Roku, Roku has just been replaced by what's her face? Kyoshi.
Yoshi.
So
yeah.
instead of Roku guiding him in the spirit world and talking to him, it's Kyoshi. So what's up with that?
Yeah, it's like they're replacing Roku with Kyoshi. So what? Kyoshi, who is a bit more warlike, you could say, is going to be Aang's guide, when it's actually Roku, who is more like in line with Aang. Like he could kind of they could relate to each other more.
Yeah.
It's just I don't understand why they.
Especially when you find out stuff later about like, Zuko's family.
Oh, I okay. Do I want? Well,
Yes. So no
it's
Roku,
an
folks.
old.
Just
Well,
Roku's gone. We got Kyoshi, and Kyoshi's just saying all this bizarre stuff to him, all this nutso dialogue about
Yelling at.
an avatar has to be a general, an avatar has to be a leader, a commander, all this stuff. None of it makes any sense. Who cares what's happening? Um, we just cut over to Sokka and Suki having the weirdest interactions ever. Like she's looking rapey as
don't
hell.
forget the shirtless scene.
Oh yeah, shoot, guys, we get another shirtless scene. So
Yeah, she's
Kylo
Sokka's
staring
Ren
at him
scene.
while he's laying in
shirtless,
bed.
and then but we don't see that he's wearing pants because we just see like his waist upwards. But then Suki comes in the doorway and she looks down at him, and then he looks down, and then we pan down to see that yes, he is wearing pants. But first, they show us her looking down, then him looking down, without showing us his bottom half. So we're left to assume he's naked. But then they're like, oh yeah, he's got pants, and it's the weirdest scene ever. I don't even know what they were trying to convey through that scene.
That one was bad. That so much of this episode felt like a rehash of someone trying to replicate Ryan Johnson in The Last Jedi. There are so many parallels that I could draw with what I saw in the filming and especially with the dialogue. And yes, that shirtless scene comes up as well. I'm just like, what are you even doing? Like, you're not going. I think I made the comment where I was just like, well, they showed that. Where's the Master Cheeks? We got to show butts now. It's got
Yeah,
to
you
be
did
there.
read
And
the
it's like,
Master Chief comment. But yeah, and the dialogue. So in the animated show, we've got everyone is so much more charismatic, so much more engaging and endearing in it. And we've got the stuff with Sokka where he has to deal with his sexism, right? Because he thinks women are inferior to him, but yet the Kyoshis are so much better fighters than him. So he has to deal with his own pride and deal with going and working himself up to go and get himself to actually learn from them and go to their little place where they're practicing their martial arts and demean himself by asking, for their help and eventually, wearing their garb and stuff. And there's lots of comedy with that and with Aang. We're cutting all that out, okay? We've just got this weird ass shirtless scene instead. And then we have this training scene where Sokka and what's her face, Suki are training together, and the martial art moves. I don't know what they're doing. Like they look weird as hell. Like it looks almost like they're trying to do like a knife hand strike for them. But a knife hand strike is like this, okay? Instead, their fingers are out, which I don't. You don't want to have your fingers out. I don't know what you're doing. That's you fake fingers. You have to have your hands solid like this, and this is the positioning you want. But instead, they're like this or something. Doesn't make any sense at all. Okay, anyone with any basic like knowledge of anything could tell you that, but I guess they didn't have anyone on set who knew anything.
Well, and also Sokka was supposed to be in the Kyoshi warrior garb and everything.
Missed opportunity for
Supposed to
drag
wear
too.
the uniform, right?
Mhm.
Yeah,
Because that was the whole point. Because Suki said, "Well, if you want to learn, you're gonna have to, you know,
and wear the makeup too. And
yeah,
speaking of
you're gonna have to
makeup,
follow all of our traditions."
Yeah, I believe she was in
And it's
makeup
like,
the whole time in the show, right?
speaking
yeah,
of
in
makeup,
the animated show, yeah, she never takes it off. But
we
in
have
this
this
They're
one,
doing
scene
the
she's
after
going like this, and
training
all of a sudden, poof, it's
where
gone.
Suki turns around. She's in makeup. She turns around. I swear, you can count to one Mississippi, and she bends down to this
Magically,
bowl, and she turns around, and her makeup is gone. And
like
Kyoshi Warrior, she's
perfectly
got
all
full
gone, like she
makeup.
never had it on.
I
they're
know
doing the
girls
whole
with
Halo
light makeup who
thing.
take
That's what they were
20 minutes to
doing.
take that shit off. It's not a 1
It
second
it would
thing.
it would have taken It would have taken a bit.
They're,
I don't know
So
what kind of
they're,
magic towel she has.
Yeah,
they're doing that
magic
Halo
wand.
thing where Master Chief never has his helmet on, just so that the
Master Chief.
actors could show their faces and shit. You know what I mean? Like the
yeah, that's
show
probably what
on
it
the
is.
show.
Dude's like out of his armor most of the show. It's insane.
No, but he took his didn't he take his helmet off a lot of times though?
Oh yeah,
Oh,
like
all the time.
he was naked.
He never
Yeah.
had it on.
You can see his butt
It's like
cheeks in the show.
MFR.
Not even a
Yeah,
joke.
Yeah,
almost
exactly.
never has his helmet on.
Well, what the heck? Keeping on armor. I mean, look at V for Vendetta. You didn't see Hugo Weaving taking off the V
Yeah.
mask. He kept it on
That's
the whole
the-
Face like
time. But
That's
that
the
was
mystique of the
insane.
character.
Yeah.
And he was playing a character. He wasn't playing an actor playing himself. Like
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
he
It's
embodied V,
yeah,
which was
It's,
number 5. That was
yeah,
his cell door number.
yeah.
One of my favorite movies.
it was
Good
the actor's narcissism almost. You know, they got to have their face time. You know what I mean?
Cool.
Yeah.
Didn't he say that on Twitter
Makeup
more
bending.
recently?
That's a good one. Makeup bending.
That's good. That's good.
So
Oh,
we've gender bent the mayor of the village, and we've replaced what's his name, Roku with Kyoshi. We've made Zhao insuffer a little insignificant nothing who's kowtowing and bowing to kiss Zuko's boots. And then so here next scene, Zhao and the Firebenders show up to Kyoshi, and the editing, guys, it's awful. We're just cutting to things constantly. So Zhao and them show up, and they're actually wearing the masks now. The Firebenders, that was our complaint last episode, was they didn't have the white masks. They've got the masks, but they've been race bent. So the masks are black now instead of pure white. Okay? So they're just changing everything. And then Zhao comes up and he's like, "Oh, I don't want to hurt anyone here, but I am looking for the avatar. But it would be such a shame if I had to hurt someone." Instead of Jason Isaac's real Dale Zhao. By the way, doesn't even come here in the animated episode, but if he did, he'd be talking real business. He'd have aura and intimidation and presence about him.
Yeah.
Not like this little Asian dude who doesn't know what's up. And then the old lesbian mayor lady who's been gender bent just grabs a firebender in the back and hurls her into the rest of them. Which have you guys seen Kenobi? If you've seen Kenobi, there's a scene where this
Refuse.
girl just grabs a stormtrooper by the helmet and just throws them across the building, which is just
For
demean to
real?
hell. Yeah, and it just made me flash to that because it's like, what are we doing? Does she have super strength somehow? That's not a thing in this world, but I don't know. What do you guys think about it?
That was so weird.
Also, well, and really quick, they left out the Unagi sea serpent
Mm-hmm.
because
Totally.
there was a whole sea serpent, and Aang in the animated series was like, "Oh, Katara, I'm gonna go and ride that."
And he was doing it to impress Katara too,
Yeah,
which builds
well-
the character.
Yeah, and she was like, "Okay, fine, whatever, go, sure." He's like, "All right, I'll
I just-
go."
I just want to make a point. So who's the guy that's got the black eye, and then the other
Zuko.
with the general, and then who's the other general that they were allied, they became
Zhao.
allies, or whatever.
Zhao.
Zhao.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think the was it Dao or Tao?
Zhao.
Zhao.
Zhao. Okay, so I think
ZHAO.
Yeah.
okay, so when Zhao was saying like Your Highness, what I got from that was almost like an air of sarcasm. You know what I mean? Kind of like he was
Oh.
like talking down to him in a
Well,
way, but like
He should be. He should be.
He should
I think
be.
that's what I got. That's what I got from it. That's what I
Okay.
got from that scene.
He just sounded so like, oh, he did not
Like,
sound like
Zhao
he
was like
was.
very stern. He's like,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I mean, we already established that the actors, like, they're very the way that they speak is very like,
Horrendously.
It's very
yeah. So I
wooden.
mean,
Let me
writing's not
present
good,
some more
the acting's
evidence
not
here.
good.
We've looked at the live action versions of obviously Jason Isaac should be Zhao versus who they got. But let's look at the animated versions.
Who, if
This
you
is
remember,
Zhao. Look at that smirk. Okay, look at that arrogance he has.
Yeah.
There's also a height difference in the animation, where Zhao is quite a bit taller than Zuko and more muscular. This little
Much
Asian twink
older.
in this thing is shorter than Zuko. Okay,
Mhm.
and it's just look at this. Look at this here. Did you get any of this argument or tension between them, your pops, when you watched
No.
the episode?
what was that?
Did you get any kind of tension or argument? Like you see these scenes, how there's clearly tension between them. Did you get any of that from watching this?
Very subtle. It seems like just from that pic you showed that there's more of a physical tension, but yeah, in the show that we just watched, it was more of like a not even subtle, but it yeah, I guess subtle might be the best word that I could come up with for that. But it very not even subtle, like less than subtle, you know.
Mhm. Because they have
Like
a
I could
full-on
tell that
fight
there
in the
was some sort of
animation.
tension, but
Completely
Thank you.
lackluster.
yeah. Thank you. Yeah, Jess, that's actually a very good word. You could tell that there is a bit of a tension because obviously, who's the guy with the black eye again? What's his name?
Zuko.
Zuko.
Zuko. He's obviously younger than Zhao,
Yeah, he's like
but I think that
16.
Quite a bit.
right. But I think that's the only way that you can tell that there is a bit of like a rivalry type of thing going on, just because like the age difference, and obviously he's younger, and he's leading a whole army.
Yeah.
But like other than that, as far as like physical wise and then dialogue wise, yeah, that's definitely a lot to be desired in that part.
Well, let me ask Jess, piggybacking off of that, someone who knows the lore better than I do, is the actor playing him as way more petulant than how his actual character is portrayed in the anime?
Well, this guy who's playing him in the live action doesn't even remotely come close to his animated counterpart, who he's supposed to be. Like, okay, maybe you know what?
Go-
I'm just gonna
go
I'm
off.
just gonna make spoilers, okay? So at the end of season 1, there's the episodes the Siege of the North. There's part 1 and part 2 of that. And Zhao is so ruthless that he's like, I'm gonna go and kill the moon spirit, and he does because he doesn't care. And I mean, there is the part where he does have the moon spirit, which is like a koi fish. It's taken in the form of a koi fish, and he has it in a bag. And they're like, "No, don't kill it because it'll put everything out of balance. It'll be horrible." Then at first, he goes like, "Okay, fine," and he reluctantly lets it go. And then all of a sudden, he gets this crazy look, angry look in his eye, and then he just goes, "God!" and he fire bends like the
And
It's
everything
with
turns
water, and then
red.
it turns gray. It
It
turns
turns
gray.
red, I think.
I think it
No,
turned
red.
gray at
Red
first.
is when red is at
Yeah,
first.
the blood moon came later.
Yeah, the blood moon.
Like
was-
happens in the same episode, I think, but it's
Yeah.
Okay, it
But
turns
when
red at
he
some
kills-
point.
maybe it goes
when
red
he-
first.
Does it? I mean,
Yeah.
Been a
I'm
while.
actually curious though. But down upward says
I've
Zhao
never
is a
played it
dominant
first.
presence in the show. He's sneaking the Netflix show. Yeah, he's just.
Yeah,
I won't
he's
even say
just-
sneaky. I say he's just like a bootlicker. But I'm
Yeah,
actually. Let me
he's not-
find.
He's not even. He barely has a presence. He barely has a presence in the live action. He really has a presence. He has a strong presence in the animated show. I mean, he's ambitious. He's cunning.
I'm
This
gonna pull something
guy-
up to demonstrate that. Yeah, because just how like because I imagine, obviously that scene is going to be in this live action. I'd assume so, and I can't imagine this actor pulling it off at all. Because I mean,
Yeah,
look at this.
fine. Here you go. Here's the clip right here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah, there's when he catches it. It's that red moon.
Destroying the moon won't hurt just the water tribe. It will hurt everyone, including you. Without the
Yeah.
moon, everything would fall out of balance. You have no idea what kind of chaos that would unleash on the world.
He is right, Tao. General Iroh, why am I not surprised to discover your treachery? I'm no traitor, Tao. The Fire Nation needs the moon too. We all depend on the balance. Whatever you do to that spirit, I'll unleash on you tenfold. Let it go now!
Wait for it. Wait for it. See? That guy is not even close.
Do you see the
Yeah.
actor they
Not
cast as
even
Zhao
fucking
pulling that
close.
off?
Not
Can I just say that's the emotion that they needed in the Netflix series. That's the type of emotion that I was looking for. Like right there.
Oh god, that show.
In their dialogue, right there. That was the emotion. That was the
Every scene of
emotion
the
right there.
animated show is like that. It's not just like that's one good scene. Almost
Yeah.
every
Right.
scene is like that.
Yeah, even
Right,
So
the
imagine watching a
episodes.
whole show of that, 3 seasons, 22 episodes each, and then
Yeah.
seeing this thing.
Yeah, that's what's lacking. That's what's lacking right there.
Yeah, see? I mean, that guy, not even close. The acting is not even close to that. Like, there has not been a scene like that in the whole live action, like in the 2 episodes that we've seen. So,
I feel like that would be funny for us on Up Down Overs if we do watch the whole thing. I'm sure his plan's fucking stupid. Ironically, the acting lacks fire. Yeah, the acting lacks a lot, including
hey,
that's something Zhao needs, is like a fiery, dominant
that's the
personality.
whole point of the Firebenders. They're
Especially
really
like because
fiery,
if we get Zhang Zhang
fun.
in this downward upwards, because I guess you've seen it, is Zhang Zhang in season 1? Because the whole conflict between Zhang Zhang and Zhao, you need that. Like I don't see this actor pulling that off at all. I don't see any of these actors pulling
No,
anything off successfully.
no, he can't. It's pathetic. I'm sorry. It's pathetic.
It is. I wouldn't be surprised if they race swap Zhang Zhang or cut him out entirely. So
They probably cut him out. I don't
I
doubt it.
assume they cut him out. I assume I mean, they've cut like half of the stuff out already.
And they're
So
probably another thing I'm going to reveal. If I remember right, I think Iroh is kind of leery or kind of nervous about spirits. So that's why he was being kind of like, Zhao, you need to put that
well, you know,
spirit
he
back. Like,
respected them. He like respected them,
yeah,
and like
yeah. But
they
I
were these
think
majestic
like
figures
he
to him.
he kind of well, at least like in his
He
maybe
knew it would throw
younger
everything
years.
out of balance if
Yeah,
something happened to their
yeah.
spirit.
But I think that kind of in his younger years, he was kind of leery of them, if I remember right.
Because
Or
he
maybe
met the dragons, Iroh went and he was like the only person in that age to meet the dragons and actually train with them. And he
yeah.
protected their existence by going back and saying,
Oh,
"Oh yeah,
that's right, the
he
dragon
went back and
dance.
said, "Oh yeah, I killed the last dragons." But then we find out later on he didn't actually. He actually kept them a
Mhm,
secret.
mhm. Yeah, because there was that. Yeah, I forgot about that. Wasn't it called like the dragon dance or something? When Aang and Zuko.
The dance of
Oh,
the
Oh,
fire
there
dance
this
or
was
is later.
something.
two
I'm so,
dragons. Yeah.
I'm telling spoilers. I'm sorry.
And
Well,
guys,
been
if
out
you haven't
forever.
seen the animation, just go watch it, okay? It's fantastic. And
It
don't
is
even bother
so good. I
purchasing
mean, come
it.
on, look at that clip we just showed. I mean, come on, just in that one scene. I mean, and you miss out if you watch this live action show. You miss out on the freaking hysterical little funny moments. I mean, they're so funny. And then in season 2 with oh my god, with the secret tunnel song. It's so funny. That hippie guy. He's like, hey man.
Yeah,
Oh
a
god.
lot of good
I don't
comedy
know.
throughout the show too.
So we get this bizarre fight between the Kyoshis and the Firebenders. Where in the animation,
Which
Mhm.
Zhao was actually not even supposed to be there. It was just supposed to be Zuko.
Exactly. And it undermines him so much by him being there and then running off like a coward without doing anything or demonstrating any type of power. Like
Yeah.
Zhao is one of the he's about as strong as Zuko initially. Obviously, Zuko grows stronger as the season progresses.
Yeah.
But right now, current Zuko and current Zhao is a lot stronger, and he's got this overabundance, this overdetermination, this very offensiveness, which we see later on the Zhang. But now it's just like he's a coward who just runs off without putting up any
Right.
type of fight.
He
So
definitely
I
could
undermines
attack
him.
him.
completely.
It's ridiculous. Oh man. I could. Well, no. How many spoilers have I given away?
Just go for
I
it.
could
Just
give
say
away
whatever.
more.
Guys,
Well,
wait.
Zhao ends up dying
Spoiler
anyway.
alert.
Sorry.
But no, he doesn't die.
Spoiler
He
alert.
doesn't.
Yeah,
No,
he
no,
does.
Zhao. He doesn't die though.
Zhao
No,
does die.
no. He goes to he gets trapped in the spirit world, and then he shows up in Core. Where he's in the spirit realm. He doesn't die.
I don't remember
hmm
that. Was he-
Did you watch
Because
Core?
Korra,
No.
hmm
I think I only watched like the first season, and after that, I was like, okay.
I believe it's season 2 where the Unalaq opens this like portal to the spirit world, and they go in, and there's like fog everywhere, and Zhao's walking around like trapped in the fog, and like Zhao runs into like Core and them. 'Cause he's like
Well,
stumbling
that's
around.
him. Whatever. Well, he. I mean, the ocean spirit
Spirit
grabbed him and took him down at the end of.
would assume he dies, but I mean, then he actually, I guess it like sends him to the spirit world.
Yeah. Well, you kind of say he's dead, basically.
hmm
I mean, I would say that because he
hmm
can't go back, and I mean, he drowned essentially. I mean,
I think it's more of like a
his spirit is like
spiritual
stuck
way.
there,
Yeah.
and he can't really like go on or anything because he's just stuck there,
hmm
which makes sense. I mean, it's like it's almost like it's like
Purgatory of sorts. But we find out that what's his
yeah.
name ends up there too. I don't know how I'm forgetting his name. The uncle, what's Iroh? In Korra, Iroh's
Oh,
also there in the spirit world with
well,
Zhao
that's
and them.
Korra. There are some things in
Mm.
Korra that completely
Well,
like
no, I,
change some things that they should not
it
have
is,
done.
but I like it because it shows like Iroh's there and Korra goes, and it's actually one of the few good moments with Korra where she's like this
Yeah,
child there, and she has like tea with him, and he imparts a
yeah.
lot of good life lessons, and
I
he explains that when you die, you almost
yeah,
get you to choose your own heaven, and he
yeah,
chose to live in the spirit world, which really
yeah.
makes sense for him and his character because he's
Mhm.
like there with his friends having tea, and you know
Yeah.
how he like teaches Toph stuff, and has like tea with her and imparts life lessons
Yeah,
in
yeah, yeah,
Avatar.
yeah,
He does the
yeah,
same thing with Korra, and it's like one of the only really good moments that involves the character of Korra in that show because she
yeah,
kind of gets the same treatment he did with Toph. And it makes a lot of sense that that's where he'd choose to die, since we're
yeah,
saying it's explained in this universe, like when you die, you kind of choose which sort of heaven you go to, and he chose to live in the spirit world. As in his own words, I chose to live here in the spirit world with my friends, which
yeah,
is like, pretty
yeah.
nice.
Yeah, I do remember seeing that clip. I don't think I mean, like I said, I only watched like the first season of Korra, I think, if I remember right. It's been a while.
Well, Dan Apples, you shouldn't expect to see Toph in season 1. But yeah, I wouldn't expect anything from season 2, the positive at all. I mean, I
Well,
wouldn't
that's
put it
when she
past him.
appears. Toph is
hmm
in season 2 because that's where because
Yeah.
her parents are keeping her sheltered because she's blind, and then
hmm
she does not want to be sheltered. She wants to go out and venture into the world, but they don't let her. But obviously, she's able to with Aang and with the gang.
Man, you know what they're not going to show in season 2? How excited Sokka gets when he's jumping up and down because he likes the boulder so much. The overly
The
masculine
boulder!
boulder. The
The
boulder.
They're
Yeah.
not gonna
boulder.
do that good at all. They're gonna
They're not
cut
gonna
that
they're
out.
gonna
They
mess it
They're
all
can't
not
up.
gonna
do
have the
that. There's
boulder.
no way.
Yeah.
That's
Oh
like
my
one of the best
god, what a
episodes of the
missed
show,
opportunity.
probably.
And he always
Yeah.
goes,
Tough.
the boulder, thanks.
The introduction of Tough. Oh,
And then he
that's
shows up
great.
at that to help them with the invasion at the end of
Oh
season
man.
2. And what's it, the
Yeah.
hippo comes with him? Is it the hippo? The big fat
Hippo.
guy?
Yep.
Yeah.
The
Thanks for
huge fat
Yeah, they
guy?
do end up. Yeah,
There's
because
like a whole bunch of
it's
characters.
the
The mole
like the
guy.
wrestling competition thing,
Yeah.
and Toph is
hmm
in it, and they what do they call her? The blind
Oh,
The blind bandit.
bandit?
yeah.
Bandit. Yeah.
Yeah, or
hmm
something like that. Oh
But back to the
my
awful live action show, guys. How much fun is it talking about the animation? But then we have to be pulled back to this
No,
thing.
I'm like gonna
Zhao
have to
runs
go
off
watch
like
it
a
now.
coward. Then Katara just sticks her head over this cliff and stares at Zuko. So now he sees her and walks over to her and Aang. Aang's still in the spirit world talking to gender bend. What's his name?
He's talking to
Roku's now
Kyoshi.
Yoshi. And so Zuko confronts Katara, and he's got like 5 of his guys behind him, and Katara just waterbend knocks them all out. So she's already Rey Palpatine pretty much. And then Zuko blasts past her and moves towards Aang. But then Aang is still in the spirit world. Kyoshi's giving him more pep talk. And then Kyoshi takes over his body. Instead of Aang, we see Kyoshi, which is supposed to be Roku whenever that happens. Kyoshi never does that training except in the trial episode, which is later on. So none of this even happens. But if anyone would take over his body, it would be Roku, because that's who does, and that's who is his like mentor figure, which they've just swapped out with Kyoshi. And then so we see a giant glowing Kyoshi just fly over to the city, the town, and just wipe everyone out. And then Zhao and everyone flees. And then the giant glowing Kyoshi turns back into Aang.
I mean, I think I can't remember if he did kind of become like Kyoshi or not, or like he just went into this avatar state himself.
No,
But
it
it's
was himself. He did not become Kyoshi. He becomes Kyoshi in the trial episode, and he becomes Roku in the episode with Zhang Zhang. But he's not taken, and then he's taken over by Roku in the temple. But unless I'm forgetting, I don't think he's taken over any other times.
Yeah, because they in that one temple, it was oh, what was it? Was it was like a solstice or something, because it had to line up right. You know, the sun had to line
So
up
is
with
this comet.
the yeah. Well, no, it was
Mm-mm. It was the summer solstice. He had to get to
the
the
summer
temple
solstice.
to get the vision before the
Yes.
solstice passes.
Yeah, he
And
had to
that
be
and the
there
vision
at that
shows
time.
him that the comet's coming back.
Yes, that's what it was. And the
That's the
winter.
point. Everything about this reimagining sucks. Reimagining in quotes, because that's everything. It's like just making bad. It's not fair either. Okay, it's not fair. One
No,
Piece got a good live action. I know there are people out there. I know. Okay, I know there's some people who think it's not a faithful adaptation of the anime. But the point is, it is an objectively good show if you take it by itself.
but
Whereas
here's
this
why. But
is
here's
not.
why.
The creator was directly involved.
The creator was involved. In
For
this
anyone who
one,
doesn't
I was gonna
know,
say.
the original
creators
Avatar
were scared off
creators were
because of
involved in
creative
this.
differences.
Yeah, and then they
And
kicked him
this
out
is
because of creative
why. Here's the
differences.
Really, I
result.
didn't know that.
Yeah,
Well, now we know with
the
Sorry.
original creators of Avatar: The Last Airbender, there was a creative differences dispute, and then they just
Obviously.
and
Well,
so they
yeah, now
left.
we
They're
know
like,
where
screw
the
this,
creative
we're
differences
not,
came from.
you know.
Exactly.
But to me, I'm thinking, why would you sell your IP to people are going to butcher it? Like, why? It's almost like I just think that they should be able to have power to be like, you know what, you guys are going to screw this up. We don't want to do this.
Well, they
Pull the
can't because
plug.
it's not like.
But
Whereas
now,
like
but they can't.
One Piece was like more so like an original creation by Oda, whereas Avatar
Yeah,
was produced. It was commissioned and produced by Nickelodeon. So
yeah,
writers were just hired to create the show, and they were just hired. Like they don't own any rights. Like Nickelodeon owns the rights to the show, which I guess now is like Netflix owns the rights to the show. So they just
yeah.
hire writers are just like hired creatives. They don't like own any of the stuff they make.
Oh,
Well, Jessica.
hey. Okay, hold on. But we forgot the random dude who appeared. He was just some random dude carrying a bag
Oh,
and going,
Yeah,
"Oh,
yeah.
hey, Zuko and Iroh, there was a flying cow. I think you should go to Kyoshi Island." And they're like, "What? Okay."
Yeah, so Iroh and Zuko are just walking through the village, and then Zuko points, and he says, Zhao's ship is gone. And then this random dude walks up, and he's like, Zhao saw a flying cow over on Kyoshi Island, so he headed off that way. So what is this random dude in all the military meetings? And if so, why is he telling Zuko?
Yeah, how did he know?
What-
How did he know
what
they
the
were
fuck?
looking for him? How did he know they were looking for him? That's right, Kaylin.
Comes out
Well-
of nowhere.
Random
Well,
dude.
I got 2 points. The first point is off what Jess said. It's pretty much just like anything that we see nowadays. They get the name of the original IP and they just push out a crappy product just to get viewers, just to get
Yeah.
advertising money. That's the way I see it. And then, let's see. Oh my God, totally having a brain fart right now. Um, oh my god, I had a
It's all right.
second
Take
point,
your
but I totally
time.
forgot. I'll get back to it. I'm sure I'll remember it.
Take your
That was
time.
just bizarre. Like, obviously, there's so much bizarrety in this, but that was another level. Go ahead.
Okay, so my second point was I've seen this when I started going to university around when I went back to university around like 2008. A lot of people I noticed there's no creativity. A lot of people do not have this creative mindset or like an eye to um to be I keep on saying creative, but like to be creative. And I think what's going on is these people, probably around my age, like millennials especially,
Yeah, like
they
me too. Yeah.
they've come out of college or whatever. They got their writing degrees, which I'm pretty sure whatever that they wrote in school was all just utter crap. And now they got these jobs in these studios, and that's what they're doing. They're pushing crap because they have no creative spirit. They have no individuality,
They
and
have
I
no
think it's starting to show.
passion.
No
They don't have
passion,
any
exactly,
passion, and they
exactly,
don't know the source material,
yeah.
so they don't care. And
Because
that's
here's the
the
thing.
problem.
Here's the thing. Like an example would be like a couple of English or like writing classes, English classes, and stuff like that. Like you have to write essays on certain topics, right? But like everything that these kids wrote was just so unoriginal, so bland, pretty much just cookie cutter. They just get the info, just copy and paste the info, and it's like the whole that's what it is. And then like it's almost like when you do a PowerPoint presentation and the whole time instead of like going off because like you either actually memorized whatever you wrote or you actually have a passion for it so you know what you're talking about. Instead, they're just looking at the PowerPoint the whole time and just regurgitating whatever they wrote.
Yeah, it's
That's
like
the way I see it.
it's basically like they're just reading a script monotone.
Yeah,
There's no
yeah.
like passion or anything behind it. It's just
And that's how you
repetitive.
end up with the random dude who just like
Random
shows
dude.
up.
Yeah,
Like you
they
could
just
have
shoehorn things in. Yeah,
one of you don't even need him. You could just have Zuko and he says, "Oh, Zhao's ship is gone." Him and Iroh share a look, and then you just say no, right? Where actually, let me think. Would they? How do they know it's Kyoshi Island without the dude? Okay, you have one of his lieutenants, right? Like you highlighted the guy the last episode, and Zhao mentioned, that they interrogated his people, his crew members. Maybe you show one of his lieutenants, like that guy, after interrogation, is like overhears something, and then it's that dude who comes over and tells them what
Hmm.
happened. But instead, this random dude who's not a soldier or warrior or officer, he's just like this he's in peasant's clothes. So first up, how did he hear about Zhao's plan? Second off, why is he loyal to Zuko? Third off, who is he?
Kaylin,
Where,
on your point of that, one way they could have done it was like, the soldiers or whatever, they could have gone through the town and just started asking people like, hey, have you seen something
Yeah,
like
have
this?
you
Have you
seen this?
seen a big flying cow?
Because
Have you,
flying
and then,
because the
some
flying
fishermen,
bison
yeah, I saw
are
him flying off
extinct
toward Kyoshi
yeah,
at this
Island.
time.
like regular police work, just like how cops do it. They go out to the
Yeah.
streets and they ask people, hey, did you see anything suspicious going on? Did you see this and that? That's one way they could have done it. It wouldn't even have to been a long scene, and it would
No.
have been good too. It would have been good too. They could use like this like ominous music where they're going through the town and just asking people and like doing. Hey, citizen, have you seen something suspicious while you're out fishing? Oh yeah, I think I saw something like this and that, and boom, right there. Like it
That
would
is
explain a
it.
lot more.
Yeah. I mean, and
And
flying
that's what happens
bison
in the
are
animation, pretty
extinct.
much. It's a fisherman who tells them, yeah, isn't it, Jace, am I remembering this right? It's a fisherman who like sells fish
Sounds
at Kyoshi
familiar.
Island or something and tells Zuko it's after the Agni Kai and tells Zuko, and
Mhm.
that's Zhao learns about it after Zuko. Zuko learns about it and heads to the island, and it's Zhao who follows Zuko to the island, not the other way around.
But I
But
think
Well,
Zhao
Zhao
doesn't
does
even follow
see
him there.
well,
Zhao
Appa
sends his
flying
guys
there.
there,
Zhao
right?
Zhao
But he
does
like
see Appa
sends his
flying there,
guys.
he didn't
unless
even go to Kyoshi in the animated series. In the animated,
maybe it
it
was
wasn't
Zuko
ser-
who saw them flying.
Yeah,
Yeah, but Zuko,
because
someone sees him
Appa,
flying and Zuko goes, and then doesn't Zhao like send people there?
I don't
I want to
think
pull up a
I don't
scene. I
think
want
he
to
It's been
remember
does.
so
this
long.
correctly.
I don't think he does because
YouTube.
I don't remember him being there in the animated show. I just don't remember Zhao being there. I remember Zuko. and they were just and all the
Zuko.
soldiers were like catching all
Yeah, I don't even
they're
know if
burning
Zhao
down the
was.
houses and whatnot.
Yeah, Zhao definitely wasn't on the island, but I thought he like learned that they were going there or something.
I don't think so.
Probably
But it's
not.
been
We're
a
just
while.
mashing up episodes now.
They are. They mashed in the first episode of live action, they mashed together like the first 3. But they left out and changed a lot.
It's so stupid.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah, I do not remember Zhao being there in the animated
Yeah,
show.
Zhao definitely wasn't there. Zuko. Okay, because Zuko gets there. He's like him and his guys are like riding these animal things that have like tusks.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah, the oh my god, what the heck are those things?
Yeah.
And then
Yeah, I
I'm
forgot.
thinking
I can't
of
find a clip. But
and
yeah,
then
we definitely know it's not accurate to what actually happened in the animation. That's for sure.
no. Okay.
You're trying to put logic into a Netflix show, can't be done. I mean, I saw One Piece and I was
Apparently
like,
not.
hey, maybe Last Airbender will be good. But it's like, nope, same treatment as The Witcher. Except like The Witcher had like a good first season and a second
Well,
season
I
that
mean,
I
yeah,
actually liked. But
yeah,
yeah.
it was all right. There are a lot of things obviously they changed and left
It
out.
at the
The
least had
Witcher.
good acting, so
Well, and Henry
for
was
the
pretty
most
to
part.
look at.
hmm Yeah, it had actually good shirtless scenes, okay, folks, not like the stuff we're getting in this. But yeah, that's a review of episode 2. It was just as bad as episode 1. No different. Were there any redeeming moments? Momo looked nice.
Yeah,
Alright.
Momo
Didn't look too
was
bad.
decent. Appa still looks decent. He still looks like, I mean,
Yeah.
he looks pretty very close to how he looked in the animated show. Which, I mean, if they spent all this darn money, they should make them look good. I mean, but you know, with the writing just not being good, it's like I don't care how pretty it looks. It's just if it ends up feeling kind of soulless.
Exactly. What do you guys think? Are we gonna? Do we have to watch episode 3 and review it? Chat, do you want us
Feel like
to?
maybe at this,
I
maybe at
mean,
this point we
if
might have
nothing
to.
happens, if nothing happens throughout the week,
Yeah.
I can be like, oh,
Chat, do you want us to watch episode
didn't see
3?
that.
Do you guys
I think
care?
this is the one where we see Boomy, and I don't want to see Boomy because I
Oh
know
no,
they're
I've
I mean,
heard
gonna
the
make
one
him
AJ
look
told
lesbian,
so
me.
bad.
Yeah.
No,
Someone in
don't.
AJ's chat mentioned that they mess up Boomy pretty bad.
oh
So
no.
No. And they're probably gonna cut out the flop CC and then him doing his crazy task.
yeah, guys, that's our review. In conclusion, it sucks. It's awful. Don't watch it. Go rewatch the live action. Okay.
Save your
Uh,
sanity.
if you
That's
haven't
what
seen
I
the live
have to
action,
say.
watch it. If you haven't seen the animation, watch it. If you have seen the animation, rewatch it. Don't go near this live action, please. Just don't watch it. It's absolute garbage. You don't have to see episode 3. That's all I need, folks. I probably won't watch it. Next review might just be these 3. Okay, I probably won't be there because
I
I don't
don't.
care.
I
No,
can't.
I
I
don't care
don't
for
want
it.
it to ruin. Oh God, no.
I think I've seen it now.
Folks, well, that's a wrap. Naganal, you got anything to shout out?
Yeah, I have a few different links. I'm on YouTube, Twitter. I also have channels on other stuff here. Hold up, I got a link tree. Yeah, you can follow me everywhere there. Maybe I'll start streaming games or something.
That should be fun.
Yeah, guys, listen to Andrew. Thanks, Andrew. Yeah, smash that like button, guys. We hit 100 subscribers today while I was on Ryan's channel, which was
Oh, yeah.
cool. Yo, Pops, you got anything to shout out?
You can check out my YouTube channel, YoPops215. Like Naganal said, I'll maybe start putting some stuff on there. You can find me on X, YoPops215 there as well. And also, 9 p.m. Eastern, me and Mo Zamboni are going to go live, talk about a little politics on the Reluctant Rebel channel on YouTube. So come check us out.
What's up, Zax? Got Zax in the chat. We're wrapping things
Oh,
up.
what up,
You
Zach?
can go back
What's
and
going on?
rewatch the review. Yeah, we hated it. Jazz, you got anything to shout out?
Just my Twitter, as you can see there, and I just post silly things or I complain, and that's that.
Okay. Guys, yeah, our friend Mo Zamboni, he does some of the graphics for the channel. He's got his new political channel that he's going live, I believe, on 9 p.m. Eastern, so you can check him out tonight. We've got episode 4 of the 199 podcast happening this Thursday. Then then this Friday, we've got an exclusive interview with Project Agro, so that's exciting.
Woo!
Yeah, so
Go.
subscribe for some awesome stuff, and go check out my books. Diagonal's been dropping the links left and right. And yeah, catch you guys next time. See ya.
Yeah,
Bye.
night, everybody.